Hey guys, Savage Brewski here with a little bit of a tutorial on batch painting. If you're new to the miniature hobby, batch painting is a way you can actually get through models in a pretty short amount of time, literally by painting in batches and doing them in a sequence. So I'm going to explain a little bit more about that here, and I'm going to show you how I do this with some termagants from the Warhammer 40k introductory set. Check this out. Okay, so the first thing to know about batch painting is that you need to do this with groups of models that are going to be the same colors. Okay, this works when you have a uniform type of army scheme, or when you have units that look exactly the same. If you're doing something like Marvel Crisis Protocol, where you have a bunch of individual models, Dungeons and Dragons, maybe it's not the best way to paint if you're doing that kind of thing. But if you're doing armies, if you're doing squads even, this is how you do it. So you want to pick at least 3 models, and I recommend that for a couple of reasons. You don't want to go too high and do something like 20 or 30 at a time. I have done that. Not everybody can. It can get really easy to burn out. You can feel like you're not making progress. It just kind of gets a little bit grindy, but that's a feel it out kind of proposition. You have to figure out what level is comfortable for you, how many you can do at a time, that sort of thing. The reason I say do at least 3 is because you're basically doing one color on every model and then going to the next color on the first model. In other words, you have model 1, model 2, model 3. You paint one color on model 1, then model 2, then model 3. Then go to the next color or the next coat you need to do on model 1, which is dry by the time you get to it. If you do at least 3 models, more or less, any paint you're using will be dry by the time you get back to model number 1. So I'm going to show you guys how I did that here with these termagants, and you're going to see a little bit more what I'm talking about. Towards the beginning, I'll show you model 1, model 2, model 3, and then I'll just show you the stages that I go through, the whole thing. You'll get the idea. So here you can see the 3 termagants that I've sprayed with a medium gray. You just want to spray prime or prime whatever models you're going to do, obviously, so the paint sticks. Use white, black, gray, whatever color fancies your scheme. Okay, so you can see model 1 is on the right, and all I've done is pick out the hooves and the claws in black, and that's all I did on this model. Okay, so that is just step 1. And then I'm going to do the same thing with model 2, which I just picked up right there. I'm not going to show you guys the painting and all that. This is not really what I'm here to do. Paint technique versus what you actually paint. So here you can see I've picked out exactly the same thing on model number 2, just the black claws, hooves. That's all I've done on the model, and I go on to model number 3 and do the exact same thing. Okay, so here I've started to paint the arms, the legs, the tail, basically the underbody a light gray. This is almost, it looks a little close to the sprayed gray, but it is a lot lighter. The lighting in the shot is just not amazing. And you can see I'm just going through the same motions. So model 1 color, 2, whatever it is, just keep going in the same way. Here you can see I've got model 1 and model 2 with the light gray body. Moving on to model number 3, same deal. And voila, there's model number 3 with the light gray underbody. So now all 3 are caught up to the same stage again. Next thing I did was apply a wash to the underbody, and this is done on model number 1. It's just green right over that light gray. Gives it a kind of beigey green appearance, and that's just on the arms, the legs, the tail, the head, basically the underbody of the model. So you guys are catching on pretty quick what I'm doing here. And there's model number 2 with the green shade on the body. And there's model number 3, green shade on the body. Again, all 3 models are caught up to the same level. Now, I'm not going to show you each individual model, I'm just going to show you the stages. At this point, I've gone ahead and painted up the carapace, the actual sort of hard, scaly armor on the top of the head, the back, the top of the legs, and the gun, in a darker sort of jade green, elemental bolt, I think this is called from Army Painter. And I did that, again, same sequence, model 1, model 2, model 3, it's just all done in one shot here. Now, I was a bit of an idiot here, and I didn't actually paint the guns up until now. I realized with Tyranids, it's actually an extension of their body, so it's really going to be the same color. So I just caught this up really fast. I painted the guns, aside from the carapace portion, the same light gray, and then painted over that with the green shade that we had on the body, so those are all caught up now as well. And now I caught up and started doing some of the more detailed bits. I did some of the internals, the eyes, and parts of the gun with a medium blue. These are the sort of tubes on the gun. There's coils and muscles throughout the body and the gun, and the eye and the tongue. These all got the same color. Now, since the detail is getting small, I'm just showing you one model closer up. I just highlighted the blue with a very light sky blue. The eye, the tongue, the parts of the gun, and the parts of the muscle all got the exact same color. And for the last bit, and I'm sorry you can't see this super well, I just highlighted up the carapace by dry brushing a much lighter green over the jade green. And here's the squad finished, minus the basing. I didn't really do anything with that, but you can pretty much see what they look like here. The light is a little bit bright to show everything off in detail, but you get the gist. You basically just go through in that same assembly line pattern and get everything painted up, and this took me maybe an hour for all 3 models, so pretty fast. And there you have it. That is how you do batch painting. Now again, there is some feel it out and work it out with your paint style, the colors you're using. This is all going to vary, but the basic of it is just simply that. Pick a batch of models, paint one model at a time, get one color done on all the models, go to the next color, all models, next color, all models. It's very simple, and you honestly will get through things a lot faster using this technique. If you found this helpful, please do share it around with your friends. Hit that like button. That does mean a lot to the YouTube gods. If you want to see more tutorials and videos like this, feel free to subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Stay savage.